Hi, I'm Teacher Patty, and I'm a teacher from Options for Learning. And I read the story The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins. And it's just a fun little story about the wind blowing, and it's taking different objects up into the sky. And it kind of gives your child an opportunity to predict what will happen next. And they can see the images of what might happen next. So you can ask your child, oh, what do you think will happen next? And then they see, oh, the man's hat went into the sky. And then you can ask, what else will happen next? Because they might see that little boy with his kite. So maybe that will give them an idea of, oh, maybe that kite will go up in the sky next. And, it keeps going. There goes the kite. So now what do you think will happen next? Maybe to that lady. And so it gives them the opportunity to start, predicting and kind of like problem solving, like, oh, okay, I see a shirt and I see a lady. So maybe the wind will take that shirt, or maybe that wind will take her apron, or, they'll see the picture and, oh, maybe her purse or her skirt, because they see the wind blowing. So it's just a fun story about prediction and what will happen next and why. So I thought of a fun activity to do at home is like a game. If you have a feather at home, which some of you might not have, a feather, it could even be, a feather from outside, just wash it, clean it. But, or from your pillow, maybe if you have a pillow with feathers in it, you could just take one. So a feather or something that's light, it could be paper or a tissue or paper. It could be anything, but nothing too heavy. And you can maybe even have objects on the table to give your child the opportunity to explore and experiment. What can I keep afloat? So you have like a paper plate or some kind of object, even like a book, something that's kind of, has some, it's not too light, but it has something that they can blow wind, create wind. So I thought of a paper plate and a feather. So they're going to have that movement, they're going to start exploring with the objects and their movement and how hard do they have to blow the wind or move their arm and to keep that feather afloat. And it's just a fun activity to get them experimenting, exploring with materials, problem solving, because if the object they choose does not stay afloat, maybe they'll think about it and say, you know what, I think this might be too heavy. What else can we use? Or if they don't figure that out, you can always help them say, what other objects can we use that will stay up into the sky, Or why do you think that's floating, and why do you think that's not floating? So you can ask questions about why they think it's working and why they think it's not working, because that starts giving them the development of problem solving skills and critical thinking, because now they're kind of thinking, I wonder why that's not working. And they're going to experiment, which is the best way to learn, because they're actually going to try it. And if it works, I found the object that works. And if it doesn't work, I wonder why it's not working. So they'll try different items. Another fun thing that you can do at home is make a kite. And it could be paper. I just chose just this paper, but it could be a white paper, and the child can draw on it if they choose. Or they can cut it. So let your child decide, how they want to cut it, what they want to do with it, and give them some string. I'm using this balloon streamer, but if you have yarn or string, anything really that will, tape onto here, so you can figure out how this kite will stay afloat or stay up higher And let your child choose the length of the string also, because that's another method of like experimenting. Because if they cut it too short, then they're going to start noticing that maybe this kite doesn't fly as high as I want it to go. So you can ask them, why do you think, your kite's not flying so high? Or how can we get that kite to fly higher? So then maybe they'll decide, maybe if I use a longer, string or longer yarn, it will help. Or maybe I need to run faster, because maybe the wind is not blowing that day, and that's okay. You can still do this activity, because you can ask, how can we get this, kite to go up higher? And you can give them suggestions also. Let them think about it first, so they can, start processing, why isn't it working, or what can I do to make it work? So they're going to start, predicting or drawing conclusions of why it might work or why it might not work. And then let them explore and let them experiment and try to see if it does work. It might work, it might not work. It's okay. That's the process. And that's the way they're going to start learning and problem solving and developing their critical thinking skills. They need to experiment, explore in order to develop those skills. Because if we just tell them how to do it and, okay, do this and do it like this because this is going to happen, they don't really get much from that activity, because you're telling them why and how and when. They need to do it on their own and figure it out on their own. Like I said, it's okay for the parent to give suggestions, but after the child tries many times, or maybe the child's frustrated, you can always, kind of be like, oh, what if we try a longer string? Or what do you think will happen if we used a longer string? You kind of have to word it in a way that, what do you think will happen? So they can kind of say, oh, maybe it'll stay up higher, maybe because I need more of length to keep it, higher into the sky. So they're just different phrases that you can use. I wonder, or what do you think might happen, or why do you think that happened? What else can we do? It's different phrases that you can use that will give your child the development and the process of developing those skills. So you can always help them out, and that's the best way, because they need your support. They need you there, so they don't get frustrated. So they keep going and they keep wanting to learn. So have fun. You can do any kind of activity at home that will give them problem solving, experimenting process. So have fun. Hope those activities help, and hope you have fun doing them at home. Okay? Till next time. Bye.